Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is the weekly report for October 5th. And this week the fishing has been from really good to really poor, probably due to that front that we had come in last week, and things are rebounding and doing nicely now, but we'll give you all the up-to-the-minute details here in a minute or two. I'd like to start off with a little bit of company business, and I'm going to turn the camera over to Cameron Cardoza and Brad Soto. For those of you who don't know, the Delta region high school teams, we had two teams, one from the Delta Saints Club in Clarksburg, one from the San Joaquin Bassmasters in Manteca. They both qualified a team to go to the nationals, national championships. This year it was back in Wisconsin on the Mississippi River. It took a whole lot to get those kids back there, and you guys really came through. I'm going to turn the camera over to Cameron and Brad. They're going to give a big shout out and a thanks. There's a couple people that they have to announce as winners of a giveaway that we did, and let's check that out and we'll find out who the winners are. Go ahead, Cam.
Hi, I'm Cameron Cardoza, president of the San Joaquin Bassmasters. I'm here representing the team of Ian Maynard and Mateo Garcia, who were one half of the crew that qualified to go back east to La Crosse, Wisconsin. We definitely wanted to say a big thank you to all the viewership for helping us raise the funds that it took to get these kids out there. It's no easy task by any means. Part of that fundraising was a day on the water with Steve Cooper to anybody that contributed through his channel. The winner on the San Joaquin Bassmaster side is Mr. Trevlin Campbell. So Mr. Campbell will be getting a hold of you regarding when you'd like to take part in that day on the water with Steve. Once again, thank you very much. I'm going to turn it over to Brad.
Yeah, my name is Brad. I'm representing these two guys as Jack Soto and Nathan Tritt. Also, a huge shout out to all you guys that follow Steve and has helped out. You know, we have a great time with Steve, and we have a great time on the water, and we had a great time in Wisconsin. It was truly a lifetime experience that these kids will never forget, me including. And I would like to announce our winner, which was Beth Adams. And you know, huge shout out. It's amazing what you guys do and what Steve does and all this stuff to help us out get down there. It was not an easy trip, but it was a lot of fun. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for everyone for donating and getting us out there. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I will never forget, and it was a great time with Nathan, having a good time with them as well.
Yeah, just thanks for all the support and all the donations. It really helped out, and definitely it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We had a lot of fun.
And with that, we'd just like to thank all the viewership. Remember to like and subscribe to Steve's channel for the best fishing report on the California Delta every week. And once again, just thank you all very much. Without the help of you guys, these kids don't get out on the water. We're just trying to do the right thing by these kids. So once again, thank you very much for all your support.
All right, well, congratulations, Beth, Trev. Make sure you get a hold of me. We'll talk on the phone, and we'll go out and we'll put a day on the river, see if we can't catch some of those big Delta bass. All right, what are we going to talk about here? River conditions have been excellent, other than the storm coming through, and you know, with that barometer bouncing around, if you were fishing in front of that, you know, pre-front, man, you did really well. Not so much as the barometer started jumping around, and boy, I was on both sides of it. Had some really good fishing, had some really difficult fishing. Water temperatures are still right around 70 degrees. We're supposed to get some 90-degree air temperatures next week, so I'm expecting that water might jump a little bit. It might dip a little bit, just depends on what nighttime temperatures are. Temperatures up around the Sacramento, the Sacramento River, we're running about 67 degrees, 68. But, you know, right in that 70-degree mark. Water clarity is still, I'll say, 5 to 6 feet. Last week we had a few more people out on the river because we had a couple of tournaments going on. I fully suspect that next week and for the next coming weeks, we're going to have very light pressure. We'll talk about the stripers, and we'll get into largemouth bass. And what I can see on the Central Delta for the stripers, it's not that great. There are a lack of fishermen there. The people that I do know, that go out all the time. As I said last week, I see them in their spots and they're moving around. These are people that are going out to try to catch 2 fish to bring home to cook up for some tacos. It's taken them a long time to get those 2 fish because I see the same guys running back and forth all day long. I'm not seeing a whole lot of sea lions in the central delta. There's a few here and there, but not a lot. And lastly, I'm not getting a whole lot of reports. And this time of year, I get tons of reports from largemouth bass guys that are out there. And a lot of these guys are throwing jerk baits, crank baits, chatter baits, topwaters, things that normally attract stripers. So I get a lot of these reports from bass anglers saying, yeah, man, we didn't do very well on the bass, but we really got into the stripers, or, you know, geez, I didn't get a big bass, but I got a big striper, so on and so forth. That's not happening. So that's telling me that central delta, the fish haven't really fully, you know, came down and occupied the central delta. That being said, Sherman Lake had some great reports from out there. Liberty, good reports. My son Nate is up in fishing the Napa River. That's choked with stripers. Grizzly Bay, Honker, Pittsburgh, they're coming down, and I think the big slug of these fish are still out in the bay. So if you're coming out, you can catch fish out here. I would suggest starting at Edo's and fishing west, fishing the Sacramento around Rio Vista, maybe going down to Liberty in there. Sherman Lake would be a really good place to start looking, guys. You can either troll, you can throw top waters, you can throw fish traps. Just depends on the day and where you're at. But that's kind of what the stripers are doing, and I'm suspecting that they're going to be late like the bass were. And so hopefully we'll get a real good push of stripers in here, and the striper fishing will be really good coming late fall and early winter. All right, largemouth bass. I know you guys are interested in that. 2 tournaments happened last week. On Saturday, the Bass Club Championship. There were 12 clubs involved in this championship, end of the year kind of TOC thing. They came together, and first place, the first place club was the Delta Club, Delta Bass Club. They had a 20.7 pound bag to win the tournament. Pat Sedora, I hope I pronounce your name right, Pat. He had a 10-4 in that 20.7 pound bag. Pat had the big fish of the tournament, 10 pounds, 4 ounces. Second place, 19.8. Third place was 18.8. That's out of 12 teams. And I think they had multiple teams fishing. I talked to Phil, who was I think Phil was from the Bassmasters, from the Delta Club, and Phil and his partner got third. He said, you know, the top weights were really pretty good, but right around, you know, after that, things kind of deteriorated a little bit. A lot of the teams were registering under 10 pounds, you know, 7, 8, 9 pounds was not uncommon. So they were fishing post front. That was Saturday. I think that front came through Friday. Kind of tough conditions for them. Now, Sunday, they had a high school tournament out there, and I think they had about 40 boats out in that. 18 pounds won that. Big fish was 5.5. Second big fish was just under 5.5. Nice thing about that was I watched the weigh-in. All the kids had fish. Nobody was getting blank. Most kids had a 5-fish limit. If they didn't have 5, they had 3 or 4. The problem is after that 18-pound bag, I think there was a 14 for second. And then there was a lot of, even though they had maybe 5 fish, there were some 6 and 7 pound bags. Another tough day on the Delta as far as tournament angling goes. But wanted to throw that out there just so you guys can kind of get the gist of how a couple of the tournaments went and what the averages were, what the tops were. What I have found, and the information that I have, is across the board. It depends on where you're at, what day you're at, what day you're fishing. Here's a piece of information. I did talk, the spray boats are out there. They've been out there daily that I've been out there. I've seen them going out every day. One piece of information that I could give you is that the boat that I talked to, they sprayed the entire circular outside Mildred Island, but they didn't spray inside. So if you guys are out there, you see a lot of dead vegetation in your spots right around Mildred, yeah, you might want to leave those alone, but be aware the inside hasn't been sprayed. So if you got some spots inside, go ahead and try what's going on inside. And I was doing really well on the outside up until about a week ago. That could have had something to do with the spraying, but I have talked to guys that have been fishing on the inside and doing pretty well. So I think the big news this week is that other than the front, and like I said, if you fish pre-front, you did really well. Post-front, or as the front came through and the barometer started moving around, it got really tough. And as of Saturday, I think the bite has been building, and it's getting back to normal. A lot of small fish out there, but there's a lot of big fish. I'll give you one report from Coach Ted. You guys know Coach Ted. He's been on the show quite a bit. He got a 10-3 this I think it was Monday or Tuesday. He also had 5-6 fish that were right around that 5 to 6 pounds, and he thinks he had a bag that was pretty close to 30 pounds for his 5 best. Ted got all his fish punching, and there's nothing special about what he was doing. He told me where he caught them, and it is a place that everybody goes by. It's a community hole. It's no place special. He didn't have one little bank that he fished. He fished a bunch of islands in the Central Delta. We all fish them. We all go by them. So nothing special there. And that kind of leads me into saying what I've been saying the last few weeks. There's fish all over the Delta. I have very seldom went out with a hard, fast plan, say I need to fish this bank, and this bank. Couple banks, in the last month or so, I've had pretty good luck on, and I continue going back to them. But man, my patterns have not been, rock steady where I knew I was going every day. I continue to move around and fish banks that I haven't fished or that I want to check out, and a lot of times they're paying off. Really important not to stay in one place for too much time. Move to another bank. You can't make any mistakes when you're not catching fish. The one thing that I have seen in the last couple weeks, the topwater bite is dying off a little bit for me. I've been out early morning. I said I wasn't going out anymore, but I've been getting up early. I've been going out. When I'm not fishing early morning, I've been fishing evenings. Evening bites just okay also. It depends on the night. I did take my buddy Mike out, first time on a bass boat. Mike got a 6 1/4 pounder. That was an evening bite. He caught that on a jerk bait. And getting into jerk baits, they're really taking over. You can catch a lot of fish on jerk baits right now. I'm just using a Megabass 110. Anything with a little chartreuse on the belly. I have blue top, chartreuse belly. That's doing fine. I know I was out with Glenn on Sunday. Glenn has been throwing donkey rigs, which is a fluke. He's been doing well with flukes. He's been catching and punching. Coach has been catching and punching. Some big fish coming punching. If you're not a jerkbait guy, put on a margarita mutilator and a drop shot. You'll also catch a lot of fish, and you'll have a chance to catch big fish. So you want to catch a lot of fish, throw a jerkbait. You want to catch big fish, get that punch rig out. The punching is for some reason it's late coming, but right now a lot of these fish with the clear water, they're really coming in tight to the vegetation. If you're a puncher, you got to get out there right now and start punching. It doesn't matter what you're punching, it just matters that you have clean grass or surface vegetation that hasn't been sprayed. Look for about 3 to 4 feet of water underneath that. Although Ted, with his big limit, he was getting those fish at low tide with 18 inches of water under the surface vegetation. So with that being said, man, it's beautiful out there. The sunsets have been beautiful. The sunrises have been beautiful. There's going to be just not a whole lot of pressure on the river. You can catch some big fish. I've been throwing big baits to try to get that one big fish, and they haven't paid off for me. I'm going to continue throwing them until I run them into the ground, right until that water gets to be about 55 degrees. Not paying off for me, but it has paid off for some people out there. Do what you like. Chatterbaits are still catching fish. Crankbaits will catch fish. Underspins, Kitex are catching fish. With that, that's all I got. I'm going to be out there probably darn near every day this week too. I got one day I got some grandkid duty I got to do, but I not have to. I love my grandkids. I'm going to go out and spend a day with my grandkids. But it's getting good, and I think it's going to get better. So good luck, guys. Hope to see you on the water. If you see me out there, stop by and say hi. Until then, have fun and get out and go fishing.